Hi. Something so cool happened last night, and I want to share it with everyone. In this video today is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to keep it real light. And I'm going to go back to something that this brought me back to super cool in high school. That if you went to Ocean Lakes circa early 2010s, you will very much remember this. So, yeah, and today's video is going to be about something completely different, but then this happened yesterday, and I was like, this is so cool, and it just kind of reminded me of something really cool that I think we can all appreciate and just have a little cute dose of nostalgia. Um, Yesterday, so last night, I actually ended up in the emergency service room. Everything's fine. I thought I was having like some kidney problems. Everything's fine. But when I was in there, someone that worked there, and this was so cool because I don't hardly ever leave. So this hasn't happened to me very much at all since I've started doing any of this. It's so weird. But someone that worked in there kind of peeked their head and made it was a little inside joke from one of my other videos from before. And it had to have been because there would have been no way they said Jamie. And it took me a minute and I thought, was that from and, and then I realized it had to be. And I came back and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, probably. Um, and I didn't know, I couldn't even tell who it was because they just kind of walked in and said something hilarious that was a little funny thing off of one of my wandering stories from an entirely different video. And I think the nurse behind him thought that he had said something offensive. I was laughing, but then he just walked away and he had a mask on. I didn't know who it was, but that was great because it just made me feel so seen. And whoever you were, I thought that was awesome. And I was telling the nurse, I was like, no, it's funny. And then the nurse walked away and I was like, oh, and I was sitting there. It was really cool. It was really cool. It made me feel, because, I'm just kind of sitting here. This is all evolving the way it is, I guess, the way it's going to. And I kind of forget that people are watching. That I mean, sometimes it feels like I'm sitting here talking, but ain't nobody listening. And sometimes life feels that way for all of us, right? For sure. But you know what it made me think about? Okay, I'm 40. My graduating class was 03. I went to Ocean Lakes High School. And the first thought that popped up in my Jamie brain was, oh my gosh, like Coach Prince was totally right the whole time. Like he was totally serious. Do you remember? Of course you remember. For those of you who weren't there, I'm going to tell you about it. When I was in high school, we had a coach, Coach Prince. He was a coach of, I would assume, football. I wasn't super into school. I wasn't super into sports. But I mean, he was Coach Prince. So I'm just, oh, and I never went to gym. Like I never went to PE because I would get in trouble because they'd be like, run a mile. And I would be like, no, what? What? Anyway, whatever. I'm not a super athletic person. But he was like the main coach. I'm not trying to down any other sports. They're all equally important, whatever. I played tennis my freshman year. I don't know how I made the tennis team because, like I said, I'm not a very athletic person. And I only tried out because my best friend Jem was trying out, and I just kind of did everything she did. It was fun, but I realized how unathletic of an individual I am, even in just being on that tennis team. I'm not very competitive. I think I don't have, maybe because I'm an only child, maybe because I didn't really grow up competing because I mean, also my parents were pretty busy. I just spent a lot of time by myself when I was little. Um, just, I don't know. Like, I never really cared if okay, I'm going off on tangents. Come back, come back. Anyways, so we had a coach at Ocean Lakes High School, and his name was Coach Prince. And we would have, I guess they were like pep rallies on Fridays. Not every Friday. This would happen, I don't know, a couple times a year. I'm not exactly sure what they were celebrating. Maybe it was, I would assume it was for school spirit for something. Gatherings are important. By the end of the story, you're going to understand exactly why. Um, Anyways, so we would have these little pep rally situation things, and the cheerleaders would come out and do their cheering thing, and the dance team would come out and do some cool stuff. And I feel like there were probably other parts too. I remember the cheerleaders and the dance team because they were my favorites. I liked watching them. They always did they all did such cool stuff. And Coach Prince. I'm sure there were other things involved. I just don't exactly remember. This is 25 years ago. And Coach Prince. Coach Prince. Okay, so they would have pretty much the whole school packed in the gym. And I feel like our school probably had to have at least 2,000 students in it. It was 9th through 12th. Pretty much every kid in the school and most of the teachers. And Coach Prince would get on the microphone to all these kids, all us kids, just young little Jamies and Brittany's and Ashley's and Justin's and Josh's and Jason's everywhere. Full of endless possibilities in front of us, right? We could do anything with our lives. It's actually so, I hope I can get through this without like getting emotional. But it's so cool. I mean, in such a good way. It's so cool. And I don't even know where he got this from. I'm going to go ahead and assume he got it from somewhere. If he made it up, I mean, man, now we know why Coach Prince was born. It was probably to inspire thousands of children through Ocean Lakes High School by making up this one thing that was 3 words. 3 words. And he would get on the microphone and he would say, a whole bunch of probably super motivational coach things. And then he would say, okay, now everyone stand up. And all the kids would stand up. We would all stand up. He would tell us to stand on the parts where you sit on the bleachers. So we were all a little bit higher. And I feel like that was a really important part, like psychologically now looking back. Psychologically, I feel like that was a really important part of what he was trying to accomplish. He was literally lifting us up to higher than what we just were, even in a physical level. That does a lot, And then he would get on and he would say, okay, I want you to repeat after me. And he would get on the microphone, 3 words. And he would whisper at first, I am somebody. And all the kids would whisper it. And he would say, okay, say it louder. He'd say, I am somebody. And everyone get a little louder. He did this like 10, 15 times. And every time it got louder until every student in that gymnasium was screaming at the top of our lungs. Even kids who didn't really like each other that much. Like, it's just so full of excitement. And it was like, I mean, for me, and I'm only speaking for myself, I'm sure that there are kids there who absolutely hated it, but they would have been hard to spot. Even the teachers, he was I, I want to leave these comments open so bad because by the time he was done, he was turning red. You could see the veins popping out of his coach face, like sweat. Like everyone was so excited about their lives at that moment. Even people who didn't like school, even people who weren't super into it, even everyone, every color, every size, every kid, every poor, every rich, it didn't matter, nothing. And that is the beauty of human gathering. Ah, man, why didn't we have cell phones back then? He could have gone viral. I wonder what he's doing now. Anyways, whew, okay, that just gets, if, like, I'm getting chills because I remember it. That's how vivid those memories were. That's what strong, intense, motivational emotions can do. This is why emotions are so important, even the negative ones, because there would be no way to understand the beauty of those positive and that kind of filled with hope. Can you picture a whole gymnasium of young people filled with nothing but hope, nothing but options? It was beauty. It was beautiful. It was almost as if there wasn't any more room for hate in that gymnasium, in that space with all of us, because everyone was so motivated to do whatever they had in their brains that they thought was going to make the world better. That's what it felt like to me. There are things in our childhood moments like that that are priceless. And it is so weird that last night I was just sitting on the little hospital bed waiting for the results of my stuff, whatever. And one person's comment just recognizing provoked that thought in my head about he was right. He was right the whole time. You are somebody. You were the whole time. We all were. You still are. It almost makes me feel like a part of Coach Prince knew that the world was going to try to convince us otherwise. He was like, not on my watch. And for that, I'm so grateful. And I feel like I cannot be the only Ocean Lake student that feels this way. It was electric. I don't call very many things electric. It was literally electric. Human gathering is so important. We need each other. Attitudes are so contagious. Attitudes are way more contagious than the corona. Sure. We can catch a bad attitude right from our phone. Right? You have to be very protective of your own space and who you allow in it, who you allow in the reality in which you create for yourself, because unfortunately, the world is such a scary place. But Coach Prince was right. You are somebody. So am I. Regardless of what anyone says, they don't know. Don't listen to them. Human to human. When I speak to anyone else, I do everything I can to smile through my words at all times, especially if I'm out in public. And my reasoning for this is because human to human, I have no idea if my smile is the only smile that that person might see that day, right? And if I have nothing else to offer, if I have nothing else to offer the world at that moment, even if it's through emotions or trauma or life's inevitable ups and downs, a smile can go a long way. A lot of things can go a long way. I don't know. I just thought it would be such a good idea to talk about something that we can all be grateful for. And I feel like that is really each other in so many more ways than one. And we need each other. And I'm grateful for every single one of you. Just being able to make these videos has made me feel, y'all, last winter was the scariest shit I've ever dealt with in my entire life. And I'm still healing from things from just this past winter. And that one little joke that was made, even just somebody silly who, just some silly little thing, someone who just recognized me from the videos out, just that made me feel so much less alone. And there was a time there that I was very afraid. I had good reason to be. But what can we always count on to stay the same is that nothing ever stays the same. And luckily, situations have changed and things are getting a lot better. So we will stay grateful for all of our blessings, for bringing us peace, and every single one of our challenges for bringing us strength, as they're equally important. And we're also going to stay grateful for each other. And that's important too. Go visit coralskidnapping.com. And I can't remember any words how grateful I am for every single one of you who has followed me on this journey throughout my own healing and all of the crazy. When life knocks you down 7 times, that just means you have to stand up 8. And I will stand up 9 and 10 and 11. Then I'll come back and show y'all how to do the exact same thing. Because I owe that. I feel like we owe that to each other as human beings. Thank you guys so much. And go buy some merch.